Hello, and welcome to Storytime with Gwendolyn, a story day Til Gwendylmas. Gwendolynmas being December 25th, which is my birthday. I am the Gwendolyn, and I would like to introduce you to some special guests. The first special guest is my dragon onesie. Almost a dinosaur, not a dinosaur, no feathers, but it's dragon onesie. You can see the head on it. It's got two eyes, and they're a little floppy, but we don't hold that against him. My next special guest is this age-appropriate beverage contained within this beautiful Tessin stoneware ceramic tumbler mug pint glass. Everyone take a drink of a drink. Tastes adult. No, don't. Mm-mm. My next special guest is this, Ariel. It's an Ariel card that Gwendolyn Mom got for me at some point because she knows me very well. And the last but not the least special guest is this book. The book is called How Does Santa Go Down the Chimney? It's a very good question. It's by Mac Barnett, illustrated by Jon Klassen. And it features on the front a Santa that's got a ring light above him looking very seriously at the chimney. So this is my dragon onesie. This is my age-appropriate beverage. This is my Ariel card. Don't tell Disney I'm doing this because they will come find me. And this is a story day Til Gwendylmas. How does Santa go down the chimney? Don't, though, also. Why I am looking at you. End papers are red. Oh. This says, how does Santa go down the chimney? Nobody knows. But here are some ideas. Another red paper. And then what could be the end of a roof. How come it's not roofs with a V if there's multiple roofs? English is weird. How Does Santa Go Down the Chimney by Mac Barnett, illustrated by Jon Klassen. In this picture, you can see there's reindeer with a coffee cup. And Santa, who's taken his coat off, and he's just wearing a t-shirt underneath, which is not what you should be wearing outside when it's snowing. How does he do it? How does it work? Does he cinch up his belt? Look, his reindeer's so helpful. And then his belt is all cinched. He could just wear a corset or a waist cincher or a waist training corset or a corset or shrink himself down to the size of a mouse. Oh, look, he's so tiny. He's a tiny Santa. He's a little tiny Santa. Look, but he looks so, like, upset. Upset tiny Santa. Well, because I guess that would be a long way down before you hit the bottom of the fireplace. Everyone take a drink of a drink. Or stretch out like Taffy and step in one leg at a time. That's just weird. I do not like that option. I don't like it at all. That's Stretch Armstrong. Remember him? Santa's like Stretch Armstrong. Maybe Santa can turn into fire. But probably not. He was excited at the prospect of being fire, but then he said probably not, and he was not as excited. But if he turned into fire, fire is made of heat, and heat goes up, heat rises, so he wouldn't go down the chimney, he'd have to go up the chimney, so that wouldn't be helpful. Does he go in head first or feet first? Or Neither. Okay. Head first. Feet first. Neither. Neither first. This is getting weird, and I feel like I need an adult. I don't see any. Does Santa ever get stuck partway down and need one of the reindeer to give him a kick? What? That's the reindeer giving him a kick. Hashtag rude. Why would you kick Santa? You could just gently nudge him. Rude reindeers. Does his suit get real sooty? Because chimneys have soot. That's a true. That's a great question, though, too. Also, why is he just wearing a red suit with white trim when it's just going to get dirty going down the chimney? I think he has a teleportation device, and he's not sharing the technology. And then does Santa do laundry before he goes to the next house? I'm going to say absolutely not, but I like this picture because he's reading the newspaper, and reading is fundamental, and there's a meow meow cat on the stairs right here. Meow meow cat. Kind of looks like an owl, but I think it's a cat. And if you don't have a chimney, what happens then? Well, he skips your darn house. That's where they were pacing all over the place looking for the chimney, but all they found is this antenna from the 1980s, which was 20 years ago. Maybe Santa knows about the key under the flower pot, even though nobody is ever supposed to mention the key under the flower pot. So how would he find out about that? Because he sees you when you're sleeping, he sees you when you're awake. He knows when you take the key out of the underneath the flower pot. He's a stalker in like a fun way, in a giving presents kind of way. So of course he knows about the key under the flower pot. He knows all the things. This is him looking at a flower pot. Everyone take a drink of your drink. Does he flatten himself and slide under your door? That's creepy. That's like the Mask. Remember the Mask? He could flatten himself. Or Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Probably. Someone could. No, remember the bad guy? He got flattened? Maybe? In Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Everyone has to go watch that movie and then comment on this video. Or does he slip through the pipes and come out of your faucet? That's even creepier than sliding underneath the door. Why would you even suggest this? I apologize. I didn't know this was going to be so creepy, and I apologize if you have nightmares afterwards, because I am certainly going to have weird dreams about this. If you've got a mail slot, I bet Santa folds up like a letter and has a reindeer pop him through. Don't. Deets, Hawaii, Taxat Duck, anyone I didn't name, you know who you are. Taj, don't. If you got a mail slot, I bet Santa folds up like a letter and has a reindeer pop him through. And I bet the stamp on Santa is one of those Santa stamps, too. Oh, no. He's folded up like a letter, and then here he is with a stamp on him. Dogs must like Santa very much, or else they'd bark. He probably carries treats in his pocket and knows just where every dog likes to be scratched. He tells them they're good and whispers their names, which he knows without even looking at their collars. I bet he lets them give him kisses right on his beard, and if they're the kind of dogs that like to lick. I added an "and" that made that whole sentence very awkward, but I shouldn't have. I am very uncomfortable. I need an adult. This is Santa with all the dogs. I'm not a dog person, I'm a cat person. Meow meow kitty person. They lick his beard. Oh. Uh-uh. Can Santa see in the dark? Does he wear night vision goggles that make everything green? I bet he'd like that because Santa likes green. Well, that's very convenient because I like green too. And so Santa and I are best friends. Green goggles. Or heat vision goggles because he might like red better. Should we leave out carrots, not cookies, on Christmas Eve since they're good for his eyesight? Well, look at that face. If we left him carrots, he would be very nonplussed. Also, the fact that carrots are good for your eyesight is false. It was propaganda from the World War II. Someone will fact check me on that. But to sell more carrots, they were like, it makes you see better in the dark. But it doesn't. It doesn't make you see better at all, even in the light or the dark, or at all. Also, bunnies, they don't necessarily eat carrots. Hate to burst your bubble. Everyone take a drink of your drink. No. The twinkling lights on the tree will make enough light for Santa to see, tiptoeing past chairs without bumping his knee, to leave a present or two or three, and eat a kiss from the dog if it's a dog that licks. Weird. And take a cookie or two or three and then leave. Some of that rhymed and some of it didn't, and I feel weird about that. Santa goes up the chimney the same way he comes down. I have no idea how Santa does that. No, that's something we didn't establish at all. How Santa goes down the chimney, and then we would have to find out how he goes up the chimney, which could be the same method or could be a completely different method. We didn't talk about that at all in this whole book, and we're almost done. Sometimes that chimney looks like a cup of espresso, but I'm so glad he can. That's it. It said Santa goes up the chimney the same way he came down. I have no idea how Santa does that, but I'm glad he can. I am glad he can too, but also, how does Santa go down the chimney is the title of this book, and we don't get any answers. If this was Law and Order, we'd probably get some answers and then a couple quips by Jerry Orbach. But Jerry Orbach's not in this book, which is okay, because he was in Law and Order and Dirty Dancing and on Broadway and on 42nd Street. And the Lullaby of Broadway from the original 42nd Street was sung by him, so it's wonderful. Anyway, that has nothing to do with any of this. But how does Santa go down? You can't ask a question as your title and then not answer the question in your book. I don't think. Like, what other books have questions as their titles? Are you there, God, it's me, Margaret? Well, that doesn't answer that either. That book is way confusing. Remind me to tell you about that book sometimes, because whoa. Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? No, that's a song. Where's Waldo? Well, you can find him. It answers the question. Well, that was How Does Santa Go Down the Chimney? By Mac Barnett, illustrated by Jon Klassen. I got it from my local library. Support your local libraries. They're very important. I didn't find any answers in this book, but I enjoyed it because it was weird, but also I didn't enjoy some of it because it was weird. Everyone take a drink of your drink. How Does Santa Go Down the Chimney? By Mac Barnett, illustrated by Jon Klassen. Thank you for joining me for the last Storytime with Gwendolyn, a story a day till Gwendolynmas of this year. This has been my dragon onesie with the floofy eyes that were very... What are you going to do? My age-appropriate beverage, my Ariel floofy card from Gwendolyn, and this story. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and you can follow me on TikTok. I don't understand how TikTok works. There's too much social media. I have 3 videos up on there, and maybe there will be more by the time you watch this. If you want to throw $1 or 2 into my virtual tip basket, you can do so via paypal.me/GwendolynShow or coffee ko-fi.com/thegwendolynShow. And I hope to see you again on one of my videos or my live streams. I live stream regularly, and the best way to make sure that you know when I live stream is to follow my Facebook page. There's a bunch of other videos on my YouTube channel, so I hope that you watch them, and I hope that you enjoy them, and you have a lovely Gwendolmas. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you soon. Bye.